demo, we understood all of the intricate little steps which go into creating a nice Sankey chart like the one you see on screen now. This was a relatively simple Sankey chart. Let's now go ahead and build a more complex one. The data for this new Sankey chart is going to reside in two separate files. First, let's read in a file which contains information about the nodes. The contents of this file are converted into a pandas data frame which you can see on screen now. As before, we read the file in using the pd.readcsv method. Our pandas data frame is relatively simple. It has just two columns. The first gives the name of the particular budget being referenced in the row, and the second gives the node index. If you look closely, you'll see that the node index is identical to the index of the pandas data frame itself. Why then did we include this as a separate column? Just to make it very explicit while we are invoking the Plotly APIs. The top level node is the marketing budget. You can think of this as the top level budget out of which all dollars flow. So this is the source of all money in the Sankey diagram, which shows the flow of budget dollars. Then we have various other budgets, all of which are hierarchically related to the marketing budget. Please note that in this data frame on screen now, we cannot tell that hierarchy. This is just a flat pandas data frame with the names of different budgets and the associated node indexes. The hierarchy will only become clear once we turn to the edges, and those edges are defined in a separate file. These are in a file called marketingbudget.csv. We are reading it in using the pd.readcsv command into a pandas data frame. When we examine the contents of this pandas data frame, we can see that it's a bit more complicated than the list of nodes. But the basic idea is the same as the previous example where we had the nodes for Bangalore and companies in Bangalore. We have columns called source, target, and value. These correspond directly to the actual flows which we want in our Sankey diagram. Then we have another column called color. This is purely a helper column. This will help us assign colors to the different flows. And finally, we have a node label. This is just a debugging input so that we can quickly track what the target is. Let's now zero in on one of the rows in this pandas data frame and understand the corresponding flow. Let's start with the first row, that's the one with the ID 0. Here, source is equal to 0, target is equal to 1, and the value is 9750. Now, the source and target indexes are used to index into the list of all nodes. And in that list of all nodes, we can see